Good morning and welcome to Morning Devotions. I'm Sister Bev, sitting in for Pastor Summerall this morning, and we are going to turn to Psalm 125. And it starts off, before it even gets to verse 1, with a little title at the top of the psalm, and it says, A Psalm of Ascents. Do you know what that is? There are 15 of these Psalms of Ascent. That means for the times that the people of Israel had to go up to Jerusalem, which is up a mountain, thus ascent, they had to go up to Jerusalem to worship. And you know that they had to do that 3 times a year for special feast days. So these Psalms are actually written for the worshipers so that they can worship on the way to worship. Because what were they going to do in Jerusalem? They're going to worship the Lord there and celebrate to Him. So I like that idea. Worshipers worshiping on the way to worship. Have you thought of doing that on your way to church? Just worship the Lord on your way to worship. And it says, those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be shaken but endures forever. Well, what are they climbing up? And you know, they're not in a bus and they're not in a car. They're on foot or they're on camels. So they're taking their time going up Mount Zion. So they're seeing that. They're on Mount Zion. And it says, as the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds His people both now and forevermore. Well, that is exactly what they are seeing, the mountains surrounding Jerusalem. And I want you to know that the Lord will visually comfort you. The Lord will take something around you. In this case, they're right there on the mountains and looking at the mountains surrounding Jerusalem. And the Lord is saying, you see these mountains? As secure as that, so you are because you trust in me. Well, that is a wonderful assurance for us that we who trust in the Lord are that secure. And it's also wonderful to me that God is like that He takes visual things around us just to remind us of His love and His protection. And then it says, the scepter of the wicked will not remain over the land allotted to the righteous. I love that verse. And those of you who have a business, you need to love that verse, because the scepter of the wicked, the rulership of the wicked, those people who come in and try and bully you out of your business, those who try, your competitors who try to take over in a hostile way, those who try to do evil things against you, and you, because you're righteous, you would not resort to those things, but those people who resort to evil things just to try to gain your market share, just to try to take over what you have worked hard for, it will not last. It will not remain. The scepter of the wicked will not remain over the land allotted to the righteous. Now, if you're righteous, there's kind of a way of thinking there. Don't resort to being just as evil as those evil people, thinking that's how you're going to get back to them, or you lose this promise. Because this promise says the scepter of the wicked will not rule over your territory, your assets. And I love how this psalm ends. It says, peace be upon Israel. 3 times in the Psalms of Ascent, here in Psalm 125, also in Psalm 122, and also in Psalm 128. It says, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. It says there's peace in Israel. You know, with all the saints over all the history of all these years, praying for peace in Jerusalem, it's no wonder when you go there, you will feel peace like you have never felt anywhere in the world. Peace. It's because God answers prayer. God answers prayer and gives peace to Israel. You will feel it when you are there. And remember that God answers your prayer about everything you pray about. Rest assured this morning that God is with you. He's comforting you, making you triumphant, and He's answering your prayers.